la famille.
So I hope most of you know Fiverr. If not, it's a great chance to learn about it. But I guess you do because you signed up for the session. But let's talk about the future of work and how it is to build a startup in this day and age, especially after the corona, and in general, how it is to build a startup and how we can make it more successful, make the most of our budget, and really scale up. So what is Fiverr? Fiverr is a global marketplace that connects businesses and freelancers. So businesses are looking for services per project or for long-time projects or for one-time projects. And Fiverr is the platform to find the perfect talent, the perfect freelancer for you. And our mission statement is to change how the way the world works together. And I know that a lot of you went through the phase of defining your mission statement, of defining your branding, on defining what you stand for and what are the core values that you set in the beginning, and then you work according to them and towards reaching that goal. And we are a global platform that work everywhere. We have offices in many places, but the cool thing is that there's people working through Fiverr, buying and selling their services in more than 160 different countries around the world. So I want to talk to you a little bit about our conclusions and things that we understood at Fiverr, even before Corona, but obviously Corona really accelerated it. So we see that the future of work is heading to different directions, that if we look 50 years ago or even 30 and 20 years ago, if we listen to our parents and different things that we heard at home, this concept or a lot of those concepts have changed completely due to several reasons. So in the traditional, and let's compare them, right? In the traditional workspace and the way people worked, people thought about long-term employment. It was working from an office, it was working locally. If you work somewhere, you had to live there or close by or to commute. But if you worked in a different country, almost anywhere, you had to relocate and live there. You worked offline most of the time, and you went to full-time work, 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 9 to 3, whatever it was, 9 to 9, and you received a monthly salary. And the notion was go study young, choose a standard profession, not necessarily what interests you the most, but what will give you long-term employment and stability. That was the notion. Now, with our generations, and especially younger generations, it is changing because people don't even think about long-term employment in many cases. It even gives you a benefit sometimes to work in several different places and change jobs, change positions, get more experience in different things. More things are available due to technological changes. So a lot of the things that we said to work from the office, to work locally and things like that, now due to internet everywhere and with people like Elon Musk and other people that are changing the world and enabling internet to really be accessible anywhere. So people can work from everywhere. They can be digital nomads. They can work in co-working spaces. They're not bounded to place and space or location. And I can give you an example. When I traveled South America about 10, 11 years ago, we had to find Skype cafes, and people here who traveled around that time, I'm sure you can remember when you traveled in different countries, you had to look for Skype cafes, and then you called your family or your friends, and it was low internet and it disconnected, or low connectivity and it disconnected many times. Now, when you go and travel to different exotic places, it could be anywhere. There's good internet connection in most places. You see people working there. You see people working for big brands and working for amount of money that usually you can't even pay them 9 to 5, or they won't agree to go 9 to 5 because they like the way they work. You have a lot of talent that is working remotely, working from everywhere, and offering their talents per projects usually. You work digitally because of the good internet connection. Also, our collaboration tools improve. So we have platforms. We have platforms like Fiverr. We have tools like Google Slides and Sheets and Docs, where we can cooperate and work at the same time together, or work one after the other, and we can comment and we can write to each other. And we have all the platforms like our shared platform that we're talking on now, and we have Zoom, and we have other great companies and technologies that enable all of this to happen. And also this notion of getting paid 9 to 5, no matter what you do, is changing. A lot of employees and a lot of people and a lot of entrepreneurs, they want to pay per projects, per results. They are willing to pay more for good work, for good projects, for good assets that are being created for them, but not necessarily just pay regular salary and start increasing your employee rate, especially for a startup. You know how important it is to your valuation when you raise funds, when you want to IPO in the future, and all of that. You want to understand that you're profitable per employee. You want to understand that the employees you hire, you really need them for your core technology, and a lot of other things you can work on a project base, project base, and you can also try things out. It enables you to try more things out, and we'll discuss it. And another thing that it's important to understand, especially for you when you're looking to hire talent to work on your great startup, that for a lot of those employees, the main thing that drives them is not stability, is fulfillment, is to live the life that they want in the phase that they want. And when people are happy, they'll probably provide a better product and a better result. And another important thing is with knowledge. You as entrepreneurs, you know that you're constantly learning, you're constantly doing your market research, you're entering new fields. Sometimes there is an opportunity in a field that you don't know. So what? You're not afraid of it because you're entrepreneurs. You're going to go there and you're going to learn it and you're going to do whatever it takes. And people understand it in general. You don't have to be an entrepreneur or a CEO of a company. Also employees, they know that they're constantly learning. It's not like you learned a degree in school and that's it, you finished. No, it's not how it works in our day and age. So this is our comparison. I hope you agree with it and I hope it makes sense to you. We definitely see it on a big scale. You can write to me also about it and ask questions if you want me to answer something. And I want to show you what we are solving and what we are working towards achieving at Fiverr. So we recognized a basic problem that buyers and freelancers had. Some of those problems are the negotiation. So if you look at the buyer or to search and find the talent. So if you're looking at the buyer at the business, probably where most of you stand. So you need to find the right talent. Where do you find it? Where do you find that talent when you're let's say you're in France and you want to work with the US, or you're in Israel and you want to work with France or with the UK? Do you find local talent that specializes in that country, or you can just go and find the talent from there? That's just one example. How do you collaborate? How do you communicate? Is it via email? Is it via phone? Is it via Zoom? Or is it via platform? And also, how do you know that it's a trustworthy worthy person? Is it just because somebody recommended you? Did you find them online? Or do you have a place with a system with the ratings and where you can see what people wrote about it and also see real samples of the work that the people delivered? And the main thing, how to negotiate a deal. So if you hired freelancers or you needed people with certain expertise as buyers, so you know that the negotiation phase, you have to do it again and again every time. Should we pay 20% upfront, 30 later, 50 at the end, or 50 upfront, 30 in the middle, 20 at the end? Every time is the same negotiation. We wanted to take it out, the negotiation part, the uncertainty, and provide a clear platform where you know what you're paying for and you have a support mechanism behind you. Same thing for the freelancers. To find the customers, how do you find them? Do you put actively money in advertising, or do you spend hours in writing in different chats and doing different guerrilla marketing techniques, or just building a super expensive website? How do you get paid? Can you get paid only locally? Can you get paid globally? Can you get paid across different countries and continents? With a platform like ours, you can. We put a lot of time and effort into this to develop this product. And the delivery and the payment and the negotiation, it also go out of the equation. If you worked as freelancers before you started your own business, if you did projects for people, you know that a lot of times you have to chase the client, and not necessarily because they don't want to pay, because they're busy, they already forgot about it, you didn't agree exactly how to do it, and there's a lot of reasons and a lot of places where it creates friction. So we wanted to take the friction out. So we created a platform that enables everything to happen seamlessly behind the scenes. It's all already embedded in the platform. And you as a buyer, you come to find the service you need. And you as a freelancer, you come to sell the service that you're providing, to do the work that you're good at. So the main values that we want to present to our buyers at Fiverr is great value for money, because a lot of costs, they just don't roll back to the customer, right? Because the freelancer does not have to have its own website. It doesn't have to pay for expensive advertisement. It doesn't have to spend a lot of time finding clients because he gets clients coming into them. And it's a global platform, so the prices are finding the middle ground, like in economics. You have an extensive catalog. You have more than 500 different categories of digital services, access to diverse pool of freelancers. So we discussed that sometimes if you need market research somewhere abroad, if you want translation, you don't necessarily have to find somebody in your country or your city that knows the other country or the other language. You can just go directly to the source and find somebody local in the US that will do the market research for you, or will translate it to American English, let's say, or the difference between Spain and South America, or between Portugal and Brazil. There's nuances that can be important. And you have a trusted brand that is Fiverr, a public company, and you have customer support. For everything I'm saying, I also want you to think about your business, how you're building it, and what are the things you're investing in from the beginning. What do you want to provide to your customers? What reputation do you want to have? What are you standing for? What are your values? And to the sellers, very quickly, we give them a tool where they can work whenever they decide to work. If they want to take a vacation, they say it in advance, and then it's just impossible to order from them for that time. So there won't be any inconvenience and things like this. They have also success and management team that manages our top sellers, the sellers that have high volume of work, and they always have an address. Another thing that we put a lot of emphasis into it, and here you see it in one sentence, Micha Kaufman, our CEO, said, you buy a service as if you were buying a product at Amazon. But if you think about it, there's a big technological challenge here, and not even only technological, because when you buy your phone or your headphones, so it's very specific. You know what you're buying, you know what type of phone, you know the size, you know the specs. When you're trying to define the product, we had to work a lot on it to make it simple, to make it understandable. So we created the thing that is called gig. A gig is your service. We decided to split it into packages so you can understand exactly what you're seeing. So you have the title, and you have the different packages, and you have an image to represent what you are offering. And if it's a visual thing, so obviously it's easy to see the image, or an image that represents the service that you're presenting. We'll look at Fiverr, the product itself, so it will be easier to see. And here again, just like you see with your any gadget or thing that you're buying online, a physical thing, also with a service, we want you to understand exactly what's included, what's not included in the service that you're buying, what's in the basic package, the standard package, and the premium package. Another thing that we understand that a lot of startups, a lot of businesses, they need pro services. So we're putting efforts into bringing pro level vetted services that are going through this entire process of applying and going through people who are actually checking their portfolio and making sure that they're really pro top level, and then they're getting the Fiverr Pro badge. So here, when you need high-end work, and it could be in anything, wherever we have pro sellers, so you know that Fiverr stands behind them, and they were actually manually checked, hand vetted. And another thing that all of you, by the way, are entitled to as well, we offer it to our startups, is Fiverr Business. So this is our solution for businesses, because it's different if you're working on your business with your personal Gmail, for example, or your personal email, or with your company email, right? As a company, you need several things. You need maybe a different flow for approving budgets. So you need budget approval flow. You don't want anyone to order whatever they want for any amount. You want to create a certain flow or logic, so you can do it at Fiverr Business. You have curated supply that is vetted for businesses, both by algorithms and manually. You have collections that you can make. You can share your favorite seller with the team because you already worked with the seller, he already knows the company, and you want to make sure your team work with them, so you can do it, and I'll show you how. and you have collaboration tools. So think about it. When you're doing a project, let's say a branding video for your startup, an explainer video for your startup, you're building a website, you're creating a one-pager, it's usually not just one pair of eyes that has to see it and approve it. In a startup, in early stages, also in later stages, you want several people to be involved and you want them to see it. So on Fiverr Business, you can collaborate on the same order, you can comment and talk to the seller, to the freelancer, not just one person, but several people. And another great thing is that you have 24/7 live support at a chat with a Fiverr employee that can help you with any problem that you have, and also can recommend you to different sellers and do the matching for you. And you have a customer success manager. This is the white glove service that we're talking about, who can really sit down and break down large projects with you. You can meet with them and also ask them for recommendation for the sellers, especially per your requirements. So here, before we jump to Fiverr, and I'll show you the website itself, I want you to scan this barcode. We created a cool landing page together with the family where we have the offer for you with some coupon codes, both for Fiverr and for Fiverr Learn. So let me know. I'll give you another couple of seconds to scan this barcode just so you'll have it. And I know that the team from the family will also send it to you, the link to this landing page so you can enjoy the offer. And I said that you're getting coupon codes both for Fiverr services, but also to Fiverr Learn. So Fiverr Learn is another thing that I want you to know and be familiar about. Now, there is more ways than there were ever before, and I know that in a month there would be more, and in a year there would be more. The knowledge is constantly expanding. There's constantly more ways to get knowledge in different things. So what we at Fiverr decided to do, because we see the supply and we see the demand and we see the type of digital services that people are asking for or need more or want to improve themselves. So we created this online on-demand courses platform. It's an entire business unit at Fiverr. So here you can scan this barcode as well. And one of the coupon codes on the landing page provides you 30% discount to all the courses. It's courses that are super practical. You can see the prices on the page itself. I see the question that Ahmad asked, so you can see it on the page. They're not expensive, but you're getting a discount. But the main idea is you need to have the notion that anything that you need to learn, you can learn with several courses. If your employees need to learn something or your partners in the startup need to learn something to make it better, you can also learn it yourself. But the way we see it, if you're a startup that is growing, especially a technological startup that has to scale at a certain phase, it's good to learn the courses so you'll know how to delegate and how to work better with the people that you either hire or work with as freelancers. And here, also, I spoke to Ellis about it, that we agreed that it's one of the main things that entrepreneurs need to learn at an early stage, and this is how to delegate. How to create the right briefs for your employees and for the freelancers and for the people that are working for you and with you. Because once you delegate, once you give the work to the experts that you have, the experts that surround you, you're working way better. So to write a good brief, to be able to explain what you have in your mind, and you have the big picture in your mind as a CEO, as the founder of the startups, but you need to be able to hire people that are better than you in some things, because you can't be the best in everything. And this is something that a lot of CEOs tend to think that they can do everything. And we know that obviously entrepreneurs and CEOs are super talented, but it's not the right way to go about it, to try to do everything yourself. Because if you try to do everything yourself, you end up with nothing, or not nothing, but with less that you could achieve if you delegate smartly, if you surround yourself by talented, smart, good people. And this is part of what we believe in at Fiverr, that give the work to professionals. I'll give you an example. When you're about to meet with an investor or with a potential client, you know that you have the meeting in a week. The most important thing for you is, one, to come prepared, to do the market research, and to have a good presentation that's true. But you can't stop everything and prepare for only meeting just for that meeting for days. give the presentation to somebody who's a professional in making presentation, create the one-pager, upgrade your website, but you have professionals that can do it better and faster than you. You're the CEO of a company, or you're leading a company. So you need to develop the product. You need to close the next deal already. You need to have a pipeline of meetings, and it could be with potential customers, or it could be with potential partners or with people that are about to work with you. So I hope that this notion is clear, and it's a basic concept of ROI. If you're investing in giving the professionals to create the assets that will go with you and grow with you, like your website, like your branding, like your video, you will have your return on investment. That's a smart investment to do. And remember that your time is also worth money, and sometimes way more, because the time that you spend is not just the money that you would get for the time, it's also the money that you lost not doing other things that you have to do. And I'm talking to all the founders, to the CEOs, to people at top management, and founders and co-founders of startups. So I would love to take questions. And meanwhile, I would love to also show you the platform so you can see some of the things that I talked about. So this is how the business platform looks. This is here, the live chat, and you can just start chatting with someone. So here I click the live chat, and here I already have someone from Fiverr, an employee. It's not a bot asking me how can I help, but we won't bother them, so they can concentrate on real clients. What I told you about lists and about freelancers that you love to work with. So look, for example, in my video editing, so I have a list of sellers for different things, amazing sellers that are doing different things. Those are the gigs. I can go in the gig. I can see the gig as it is, but I can also go back to the list and share it with my team. So I can share it and I can say, hey guys, those are the video editors that already know us and we worked with, and I would like to start with them. And if you find freelancers that you love working with, you can add them to this list. So those are the lists. We have projects, but we won't go into each and everything because it's pretty much self-explanatory. We have the orders that we can track, we have the team that we can see who are on our team, and we have our messaging system. Something that it's important for me to share with you as well, the variety of categories and services that you have on Fiverr. So we have more than 500 categories, and there are across 8 different verticals. So everything in graphic and design. And here I'd like to say some of the things that we see that startups constantly need. So we even have a startup area, startup store for this. I'll show it to you in a minute. And Salome, please let me know how much time do I have. We started a little bit late. So while you're right here, I'll keep explaining. So in graphic and design, what we see that startups buy constantly is their pitch deck, their presentation that they're running with. And a lot of time they're creating a template for the presentations so they can tweak it according to different opportunities, whether it's a investor or whether it is a client, or sometimes they create one for clients and one for investments. Okay, great. Thanks, Salome. Another thing, it's a landing page and a one-pager. So I'm sure you all guys heard it. When you're about to meet with a client or about to meet with the investor, what do they say? Send me your one-pager. So we have people that specialize especially in that. So presentations, landing page, one-pagers. And something that startups do once they get their first funding is usually they create their brand book, which we have a lot of know-how and guides that we write about it. And all those links, we'll send it to the team from the family and they'll share it with you. Those are free guides on how to do different things. And one of the things is the branding book. Once you create the branding book, it's a great process to go in an early stage because it really clears your value, really clears your values, where you want to get. It makes you think about a lot of things like your mission statement and the why, how, and what. And then when you have this branding book from the beginning, you don't have to do big changes when you get already to your after seed A, B, C, D round and the client phase. So it's great to create this branding book, and then also it reduces costs later because you already have the branding book and all the designs are according to this. So that's in the design world. in video and animation. For example, we have whiteboard explainer videos, and this is also a service that a lot of startups are buying, because, as I'm sure you guys know, a lot of time it's even easier to explain your product with an explainer video, where somebody just draws and presents your product and your concept, your solution in an interesting way. A lot of times it's much better than a presentation, and also it goes together. So that's another service that startups are buying a lot. And you have all kinds of whiteboard explainer videos, and you also can see here and learn for yourself. Like, a great thing, I really recommend to explore the platform and any other platform that you like and learn from it. See what was developed. Why here we do have this breakdown and in other places we don't. Maybe because it's a requested services and we have more information. Anyone here who's into machine learning and knows how these concepts work, you can understand that here it's probably a really demanded service, so we can break it down into different categories and different metadata. It's really interesting. I think that as a CEO, as a founder of a company, of a technological startup, you don't look at things as anyone else. It's not just a product. It's a product that you can learn from. So use it as well. Another thing that we see a lot of startups buying is different voiceovers in different languages. So I also, when I had my startup, you can hear that I'm not a native English speaker, so it's fine when we're talking like this. But when I want to have my product video, if I'm going to British audience, I want somebody who speaks British English. If I go to American audience, I want somebody who speaks US English. So I can find it here. I go to voiceovers and I find people in any language that I want. I can, here are the main languages. So we have all kinds of languages: English, German, French, Arabic, Italian, and more and more. And you can have great voice artists to do your voice. And you can go to a lot of specifications. This is another thing that startups are buying. And of course, even before that, a lot of translations. Again, here, we in Israel, for example, we're an Israeli startup. We're global, but we're based in Israel. So we're working in English and in other languages. There's a lot of European startups in the family. So a lot of time you'd want to work in English or maybe other languages. Maybe your market is somewhere in Asia. It's not your native language. Use translators, and it doesn't have to cost a ton every time. And another thing that I said in the beginning, if you remember, you can find local talent from the local destination where you're aiming to get. And the rest, I think it's really easy for you guys to explore. Use it as a tool. See if it's for you. I think that it's compatible with any startup, any business. Anyone can find something that they will need. And a lot of startups are fully integrating us in their work processes. And I hope you can understand why. And if you have any question, guys, I would love to answer some of them now. So I'll read your comments. And what's very important for me to tell you, you're all in an very exciting stage where you're growing, where you're bringing your idea into life. It's amazing. I also went through that, and thank God with the culture at Fiverr, we're treating every new project as a startup, more or less. So I can fully understand what you're going through, and use the resources that you have. Use what the family offering you. Do your research on the internet, and there's so many things that you can get and learn. And good luck to you all. And now I'll go through several questions and see if I can answer them. Okay, so Ronnie wrote, I'm in the seed stage of a digital health startup. Right now I'm on my own, but I'm looking for a technical co-founder with knowledge of data, AI. Do you have any tips where I can find this technical co-founder? I don't think that this done with the Fiverr freelancer. So maybe not. Maybe you want somebody who will be there with you. But the great thing that you can do on Fiverr, for example, is first you can do your market research. That's one thing. The other thing that you can do, if you already have tasks or you need first definitions or the first architecture of whatever is that you're trying to make, so you can do the MVP even, or you can do your first tryouts with a freelancer until you find your co-founder. But in order to co-founder, my main tips would be go to as many events as you can. There's specific hackathons for this. Use the network that you have in the family and anywhere else. Let people know that you're looking for that co-founder. A lot of times we're looking for the team member, but we forget to inform our first and second cycles that we're doing that. And once you let it be public, and once you let people know that you're looking for that co-founder, so people will know also to remember you when they meet this person and do the introduction. This, I think, the main tip that you can get. And great, Melissa, thanks for that. Thanks for the compliments. Thank you, guys. Let's see if there's any other less questions. And so Ahmad has asked where I can see the pricing. So the pricing, both on Fiverr, you can see the pricing in every gig. And the pricing for the Learn courses, you can see on Fiverr Learn platform. You can also Google it. But you have a specific landing page that gives you benefits when you sign up through that link. And again, guys, it was a pleasure. And good luck to you all. And I hope soon, when Corona and everything is over, we'll be able to meet each other internationally, go back and travel the way we did. So good luck to you all.